Meeting of the Fitchburg Conservation regular monthly meeting for August 7th, 2024 at 6:01 p.m. The Fitchburg Conservation Commission has 7 members who serve on a volunteer basis. The commission collaborates with residents, businesses, and organizations to facilitate compliance with the 8 interests of the Wetland Protection Act and the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance. If you would like more information about any of these regulations, please feel free to ask a commissioner or the conservation agent. Thank you for your commitment to conservation and our natural resources. Thank you for your patience as we navigate this hybrid meeting. The commission requests that anyone wishing to speak approach the podium and speak clearly into the microphone. Remote attendees should maintain microphones on mute for privacy. If you would like to speak, use the chat function or raise your hand to alert the chair of your intention to comment. Meetings of this commission are subject to and abide by the open meeting law. Be advised that this meeting, public meeting, is being live streamed and recorded by FATV. If a member of the in-person audience is recording this meeting, please identify yourself for the public record. Seeing none at this time, please place all devices in silent mode. And let me call the roll of commissioners. Commissioner Christian?
Here.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Here.
Commissioner Tantant-Arawat?
Here.
Commissioner Wallace?
Here.
Commissioner Satterfield is absent today, and Commissioner Jacobs here. Also like to recognize that we have joining us tonight Conservation Agent Ms. Herlyn Jamie. Now we'd like to stand and for the Pledge of Allegiance. Mark, can you lead us through the pledge? Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible, liberty and justice
for all. Thank you very much. And do we have any announcements today, either by our agent or any commissioners?
I have an announcement. The Fitchburg Public Schools will be hosting a Fitchburg Wildlife Wonders, nature explorations and activities at Coggeshall Park on August 21st from 9 to 11 a.m. Well, they will be having free snacks, free books, free activities for families, treasure hunts, and we will be present there to represent the Conservation Commission.
Do we have anyone in the audience who has an announcement to make?
Can I make
public interest? Sean Michael, thank you.
For anyone who purchased a compost bin through the Board of Health, the final day will be August 31st for the pickup. That should be a Saturday, and that will go from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m.
Thank you. Okay, seeing no other announcements, then let's proceed to our agenda for this evening. First up, the Conservation Commission will open the discussion for request for determination of applicability for 64 Farmers Avenue. Who is speaking on this RDA, please step to the podium and state your name.
Good afternoon. Andrew Kuchar, 64 Farmer Ave. So basically, the project is really twofold. We have a very small backyard, and as you can see, there's a stream that runs through the woods behind my house. This project is twofold. One is to put a natural stone patio in the back, both for recreational purposes as well as to preserve the backyard, as there is some erosion going on in the backyard, which is kind of making the deck that was there when we moved in, giving it kind of a slant coming down the hill. So this is to alleviate both that as well as giving a backyard patio to the property. This isn't a large patio, 20 to 25 feet at the most, coming directly off the house and going about 20 to 25 feet. I have spoken with the people, the landscapers that will be doing this. There will be a footing that will be going down to support a retaining wall. the retaining wall will be roughly about 3 feet high. The footing should be no more than 2 feet deep and about 2 feet wide. I'm just doing this to be extra cautious with the conservator on the Conservation Board, as I know one of my neighbors has recently run afoul of the Conservation Commission. So I'm doing this just to be ultra careful, because I know it is very close, but it's not going anywhere past the backyard or anywhere inside of the tree line.
Do you, I will make a one quick comment, and then we can address questions. About a couple weeks ago, Commissioner Wallace, myself, and Agent Jamie, we used the NearView software to look at this area, and it appears that from where the stream sits, literally to the back of Councilor Kuchar's house, is 110 feet. So if the buffer zone is 100 foot, there may be 10 foot that's in the very top end of the buffer zone, just for reference. And I will open the floor to questions.
If I could, I have also discussed with the landscapers who will be doing the work, putting up any kind of silt fencing or any kind of blockage in order to be able to prevent any kind of dirt or soil
Runoff or erosion.
running down during the project in order to prevent anything from going anywhere near the.
And historically, even if this is allowed under this RDA, we have been requesting that erosion control measures, either silt fence or storm straw wattles.
I've already discussed it with the contractors, and they said that that's not a problem. They can put that in.
Okay.
They were going to do it anyways, but I put in a special request just to make sure that happens.
Do we have any commissioners with questions? No? Okay, so hearing none, I would think that at this point, this type of work has historically received a negative determination, but with conditions to install the erosion control measures, and I think this project is definitely one that fits within that realm. If that's the case, I would entertain a motion in a second.
Motion to issue a negative determination on the RDA.
Okay, with the condition for
Silt fence.
silt fence or straw wattles, erosion control measures. Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, and let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Tanton Arawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. The motion passes. Negative determination, so you can proceed with your project with the erosion control measures, and we thank you for coming before the commission.
No problem. The contractors will be very happy to hear this, as well as my wife. So, because this has been a long-time project that we have been planning, and this was delayed by a couple of months because I knew I did have to come before you, but I do appreciate it.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, next on the agenda is Oak Hill Country Club LLC Solar Array. So we will take that hearing next, that on this date, August 7th, under the authority granted to this body by the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance and the Wetlands Protection Act, the Fitchburg Conservation Commission will open a hearing for notice of intent for Oak Hill Country Club Solar LLC, Shea Street. This is continued from May 1st, 2024. This really is an update, an informational hearing. Do we have anyone for,
So I just wanted to say that I received an email yesterday, August 6th, from Jamie Rowe, the applicant's engineer, asking for a continuance until September so that surveying and plans can be finalized.
Okay. So we'll proceed to that when we continue. But I just wanted to, because we had this scheduled for August, because it's been 2 or 3 months, we're waiting for the peer review. The peer review has been completed. We haven't seen it yet because the 2 wetland specialists have not met yet and then finalized the report and sent it to us. And that's really where we're at. I know this is a long process and you've been waiting for some determination, but there are no hard timelines when they have to have this paperwork or this information completed. So we're just kind of abiding by where we are. Nothing else is being done, nothing else is proceeding. We will wait to see what the peer review says. Hopefully, we will have that report for September and go forward from there. So we didn't want to take it off the agenda yet. We just figured we'd do an update, even though we really didn't have any more information than where we're at. So at this time, if that's the case, then I would entertain a motion to continue this to our September 4th meeting.
Motion to continue.
Second? Okay. All in favor, let's take the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. Thank you very much. We'll see you in September. Okay. Next up on the agenda is actually 3 items for AG Dream Flip. These are lots 1, 2, and 3, and we have had a request from the engineer to continue this until September. They're not ready to present any new information at this time. Does anyone have any concerns about doing that, or?
Before I make a motion to continue,
Yep.
how did we leave it at the last meeting? I see it coming up. I see that it went to a review.
It went to a peer review, okay? The peer review for wetlands delineation has been completed. The report is in your packet, but they are waiting to redelineate some areas that their flags are missing. So the peer review engineer wants AG Dream Flip and wetland specialists to get out there and redelineate some of the areas.
So what's going, I can see this going to happen 30 days from now. They're going to come in, everything's going to be up to snuff, and we're going to ask for a walkthrough.
We
Is there
probably
any way
will request a
Any way we
site
can get
visit.
it between now and then? Can we walk in ahead of that meeting?
Yeah?
It would seem appropriate in the applicant's interest.
Right, and it's very well marked. Arthur Allen did the peer review, and he tells us exactly where the flags are missing. So if we do get out there, and we'll be able to tell, what areas are not marked and are of concern. So, yeah, we can request a site walk now.
Yeah, I would do that. Well, that's one. And then the last, number 3 on the peer review, some form of mitigation should be provided to compensate for what appears to be unpermitted clearing of vegetation. I don't know. I don't know if that's, I value the peer review, but in order to see what you're going to do down there, you got to clear some vegetation, and I don't know that anything substantial was cleared. I know it's a lot of knotweed and brush, but
Right, and I do remember during the planning board process that the planning board asked them to take a look at that pump house that's there.
Yeah.
And it may have been that they needed to do some of that clearing to get in there to do that. But we can ask the engineer, why was it cleared, and see how they justify that on our site visit.
Okay, yeah.
Does that sound okay?
Motion to continue.
Okay. Any other questions, or do we have a second then?
Second.
All right, so motion to continue these hearing for Lot 1, 2, and 3 to September 4th, 2024. Call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Satterfield? Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. So continued to September. Moving right along. Motion for order of condition. This is a modification for the Westminster Hill Bridge rehabilitation. Do we have anybody? I understand someone from Weston and Sampson was supposed to be here to present. Maybe they're just not on yet.
With a raised hand.
And I'll open the hearing if we think they're there.
Hi, Elena. Can you?
Hello, can you guys hear me?
We can barely hear you.
Okay, let me see what I can do.
Let me ask if we can turn the sound up a little bit. Hold on one second. Thanks.
You'll need a pair of these.
Yeah, I know, it's very low.
Is there anybody else here with you, Elena, to,
Yeah, there should be Scott Brusso, who is my coworker. He's also here on behalf of town of Fitchburg.
aside from Scott, is there anybody else?
I don't believe so.
All right, so let me open the hearing then. Okay, for August 7th, 2024, under the authority granted this body by the Fitchburg Wetlands Ordinance and the Wetlands Protection Act, the Fitchburg Conservation Commission will open a hearing for a modification to an order of condition Westminster Hill Road Bridge rehabilitation, assigned Mass DEP number 155691. Thank you. We can proceed.
Yes, well, hello everyone. My name is Elena Compter from Weston Sampson. We are working with City of Fitchburg, developing the plans for rehabilitation.
Eleanor, if I can put you, hold on for 1 second, please. Our
Sure.
sound is still not good. Oh, maybe that's why.
I'll try turning it up a little more here.
Okay. Let me see if that does it. Eleanor, I apologize. Go ahead and see if that's any better.
Can you guys hear me now? Is this any better?
Not really, but we're not sure if it's on our end or your end.
I can hear you loud and clear. Maybe if you guys can give me a minute, I'll try to grab headphones. That will make it.
Who we'd have Scott test his mic to see if it's an issue with you or just in general?
Sure. But if you're on, can you say something?
Yeah. How do I sound?
He sounds the same.
Yeah. Daniel, can we turn it up again?
If this helps, it's coming in loud and clear. There are headphones over there for everybody to solve the problem if it'll help.
I know, but we have an audience or you know, that,
First come, first serve.
excuse me, we're trying one more thing to see if the audio can be increased. Because it's usually very muffled, but tonight it's very muffled. Can we go all the way up, Daniel, and see? I don't think that's going to ever be too loud. Yep.
I don't know how much more I can do back here.
Okay. All right. Alana, go ahead and try that now.
Can you guys hear me now? Did this make it any better?
I don't know what I can do.
These are perfect. If I can tell you they sound fine on the assistive listening device, I can tell you they sound fine on the broadcast. I don't know how much else I can do.
Okay.
All right, we'll proceed. I think the rest of us will manage. Thank you. If you could proceed with your presentation, I apologize.
Sure. So I just want to give a little bit of background to where the project stands. Originally filed and NOI and were approved in October of 2020. And since then, we were waiting to obtain some signatures from property owners. A portion of the stream is on a Realty Trust property. So this unfortunately
Wow.
took some time. And we are finally have all of the required signatures to finish the permitting with Chapter 91. And one of the items that came up as part of the permitting is that the Chapter 91 considers portion of the rock outcropping that we are removing to be dredging, which is not something that we included on the original application. So they have asked us to come in front of you and amend our order of conditions to include the outcropping as dredging. If we can go to, I think, next page. Nope, one more. And one more.
Yeah, if you tell me the page name, I could just look at, but
Big
it's
red dot.
C7.
I believe it's C8. Nope. 1 second. I'm going to open my. Oh, there you go. If you can see clouded area, which is this light shade of gray, this is the rock outcropping that we are removing. So this is the only change to our application from the original application. This results in approximately 12 cubic yards of dredge. So this is something that we are adding to our application.
Okay, Mr. Thank you. We finally have all headsets on. I apologize to everyone in the audience who because of the sound, but we can now hear the presentation. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak on this modification that's actually in-house or? Okay, seeing none. Let's turn to questions from any of the commissioners. I mean, I think at this point, we're really just talking about almost a terminology difference, you know, whether it's dredging or whether it's channeling or the scope of the project has not changed, that it would be a simple modification to add, quote, dredging as requested by Mass DEP to this order of condition to modify it as they requested. Commissioner Donnelly,
Yes.
do you have any questions?
That is correct.
Yeah.
I was over there. I saw it a couple of days ago, at any rate, what's going on. Sometimes I wish that some things you do in-house and some things you farm out. And this project here, I don't know if I think it ties up the DPW for a good long time. And I think there are other areas of expertise that they could be used, and someone with bridge repair and building, their expertise could be warranted here. It's about money, I suspect, right? If we do it in-house, it's cheaper. Not always. And it comes before the CONSCOM,
Yep.
and who's doing the work should be of concern to the CONSCOM.
Do you have, okay. But as far as this is concerned, who's doing the work, we probably dealt with previously, or hopefully we dealt with it previously, because this is really just the modification pertaining to.
Understood. I have no problem with that at all.
Okay.
This is the time to bring it up because it's in front of, a project of this nature is in front of us.
Okay, all right. Do we have any other questions? Okay. If that is the case, then seeing no other public comment or no other commissioners chair, then the chair closes the public hearing and move to discussion, or are we ready for a motion to just approve the modification as presented?
Motion.
I just have a question.
Sure.
So I'm not familiar with the previous order of conditions of this project and the extent of the work. So the dredging, is it machinery that comes in underneath the bridge, or how is this? Can you explain to me how this is going to happen? If it's going to encroach on the other area that's already fenced off, or?
I can answer that if you'd like. Excuse me. Hopefully everyone can hear me. So the rock outcropping that is going to be removed, or considered the dredging, is going to be removed by either mechanical, mainly by mechanical means, by rock excavation means within the existing cofferdam limits that are shown. So there won't be as far as we understand, there won't be large machinery under there. It'll be like small machine work, a lot of hand work to remove the rock.
Okay.
All set?
Is it ledge or a boulder?
It's ledge. It's definitely a big ledge outcropping.
So are you gonna jackhammer it with an excavator? Or are you gonna blast it?
We're not going to blast it. We don't have it. We won't be getting an excavator in there. It'll be more hand methods, kind of drilling, using just some chipping hammers, potentially some expansive material, that can break the rock away. So definitely, it's going to be a little bit of a process, but hand methods, since there's really no room to get large equipment down beneath there.
So there is your concern for where the cost could be, because that seems to be, it will be substantial, but this is being requested by Mass DEP.
No, I don't have, no, mine was for the next project.
Yep.
With regard to removing the rock, it's in the way. You got to move it. And that was out of curiosity how they're going to do it, whether they're going to drill and split it with wedges or whatever. It's 12 cubic feet. You can probably break it once, and it's going to that portion that will probably break on its own as well. Not a big deal. I don't see it a big deal.
Okay, so do I have a motion and a second to approve the modification as presented?
Motion to amend the order of conditions as requested.
Yeah, second. Second, anybody?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace? Aye. Commissioner Jacobs, aye. Modification is approved. Elena and Scott, thank you so much, and we are so sorry for the technical issues this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you. Now, we can actually take items out of order as we choose. You are here for?
We're here for the extension on 155, 616, Massachusetts
Okay, okay. And you are here for? Same project? Oh, okay. So then why don't we move to that one next? So this is not a hearing, this is a request for extension for permits, DEP number 155616 for Wachusett Extension Project. This is the train station in West Fitchburg, off of Route 31, in case anybody. So please step up to the podium, state your name, and we will proceed, rather than having you wait while we go through our procedural items.
I'm Marissa Seifert from HNTB. So we're here just to ask for the extension. Most of the work is completed, such as the station track lead south of the existing main line. The main line tracks were shifted northward to allow the space for the new track lead. They constructed a drainage ditch between the tracks, and they constructed the wetland mitigation. The only remaining work under the initial order conditions was the placement of check dams. The check dams were originally concrete. Back in 2022, we proposed to have earthen check dams placed instead, and that was approved by the Conservation Commission in fall of 2022. So it brings us back today is the work was not completed due to pandemic issues, delays associated with contractors, right-of-way access, and then surrounding the CSX purchase of the railroad. It was initially Pan Am. It's now owned by CSX. So in coordination with Herlin, we're here to ask for an extension. We'd initially filed a partial COC, but due to the fact that the initial order was from 2013, we're asking for an extension so we can complete the work.
So there's been one extension had been approved as far as I see previously. This order of condition has expired, do we know? Mm-hmm. Okay. So how do we,
We can extend it.
even though it's already, because that was my question, how do we extend something that's expired?
So it's the COVID narrative.
Oh, okay. Will allow us to extend that time. How much time are you asking for?
The maximum if possible.
Another 3 years? Okay.
I just would like to make a comment that
Yep.
in the original order of conditions, it states the applicant is to comply with the site plan as revised September 16th. So are you guys going to provide a new site plan since you had some changes, or?
Are you specifying like the check dams themselves, the changes to the check dams? I think we had back in 2022.
Okay.
I don't have anything. Do you have anything?
No, but I don't think that'd be something, I think it would be something we could possibly provide. We have seen figures for the, so.
Okay, so if you can provide that, then that'll give us a reference to this extension is based on this work that's still being done.
Sure.
Okay, that would be perfect. Does that apply?
Yes, that would be great.
Okay. Any other questions pursuant to extending? Okay, if that is no other questions, then I would like a motion and a second, please, to extend for 3 years
3 years from today.
Three-
With
with the plans, revised plans submitted, just so we'll have it for our files.
Sure.
Because we like to reference in the conditions, the plans,
Sure.
plan date, plan number, whatever. So if I could have a motion and a second, please? Yeah?
Motion to extend.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay. Let's call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly? Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. So the motion is passed. Extension will be granted, but make sure that you get Herlin that set of plans that we can reference the extension on.
Great. Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
And I just want to clarify for the record, since I usually sit over there, if you see me with my eyes, the lighting is completely different in this scene. Maybe this is why Tracy doesn't like to sit here. Holy mackerel. I just wanted to make sure nobody thought I was sick or ill.
Okay. Nope. I think we're good.
Well, you look beautiful in the old light, and you look beautiful in the new light. Maybe
really-
that's why Tracy sat over there.
It really does. It's so different. I'm like, why can't I keep my eyes open? It's so much brighter on this side.
Yeah. That's why if I doze off over there, it's not me.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're closer to me.
Okay, let's move on to our next item, okay? We have the Violations Subcommittee second quarter report. That was submitted in everyone's packet. It detailed meetings that were held between April 1st and June 30th, and any progress that we made with any of the ongoing violations. I won't bother anybody to read through the whole thing. Hopefully you've had an opportunity to go through it in your meeting materials. If anyone has any questions, though, we'd be happy to answer.
A comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Violation 196 Sheldon Road, multiple violations, as billed not in compliance with the order of conditions.
Correct.
Recommendation to the violator, owner of the home, not to speak to the Conservation Commission?
Yes, and they are in litigation with the builder.
Okay. I disagree with that, with us necessarily complying with that. What we have to say about the violation has little to do with her civil suit against a third party.
Yes.
So in order for, to sit back and to wait is probably not in the best interest of the CONSCOM and the Wetlands Protection Act.
So we can attempt again to get them to appear before either the violation subcommittee or the full commission, but they have refused to appear because of pending litigation.
Sorry, but we have to do what we have to do. They can say no, but we can't just allow that. So they have a rationale. So what's to say my rationale is that I don't want to come in because, 6 o'clock and I go to bed at 5:30. So my point is that we have to do what we have to do. We have to make every effort to get them in here, and if they don't comply, they should be redirecting that to the person they're suing, not to the CONSCOM. So if they have to come in here, it's time. Frankly, I think that they should come in, and it's billable hours, bill the builder. They come in and they go through the motions, what we're looking for, and bring their attorney, I don't care, and then pass that cost on of time and expertise in the suit that they have scheduled. But for us to do nothing simply because they said they were advised by their attorney not to talk, I think that's wrong move on our part. That's all.
Okay. No, and I totally agree. We can, again, send them notice that ask them to appear either before a violations subcommittee that was assigned to that project or the full commission, whichever they choose, and see where we get. We got nowhere the last time.
Okay, no
Several
problem.
attempts.
And I was remiss in not including that a per-day fine, should we put that out there, they can also levy that against
The builder.
the builder.
Right.
So,
Okay.
but that's what we should be doing in a matter of consistency and fair play to everyone else out there who doesn't feel like coming in but comes in.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that comment, and we will take it under advisement and proceed accordingly.
I have a comment that I would like to make.
Yep.
I know that other boards, specifically the planning board, requires a modification of special permitters once hands are changed. I can do more research on this and see if any other towns do the same, but maybe that's something we can do going forward, is request that order of conditions be modified to reflect the new property owner before certificate of compliances are issued. I think that when an order of condition is open and pending, it is our responsibility to go after the applicant, right? So that's where that discrepancy lies. Do we go after the applicant or do we go after the property owner? And I think that's where we have to levy the scales. For me, it would be after the applicant, who is the developer. But WPA says the violation stays with the property. Now we have a new property owner. So we have to find a happy medium for that. And I think one of the options may be to require folks, when there's a transfer deed, you need to modify this order of conditions to reflect the new property owner. It establishes accountability with the new property owner, and it releases the accountability from the developer. Because what we're doing is playing tag, right?
Yeah, so we're trying to get legal involved in this case to see how long the builder is responsible for this, and do we have to literally, as we know, the Wetlands Protection Act, and Agent Jamie is correct, it passes through with the deed transfer, then it becomes the new owner's responsibility. But, you know, this is not something that they bought a property and had a chance to look at and understand that it's in violation. It's really the builder's responsibility. So how long do we have to go after them? Or they can't get a certificate of compliance because the building doesn't, the as-builts are totally different from what the plan says. So we're not going to issue a certificate of compliance, which means it rolled over to the new owners. But, you know, the new owners are taken aback by what they inherited when they bought the house. We want to try to get some clarity there through legal to see where is the footprint that we can work through.
Where and when do bonds come in? At what level do we demand a bond?
We can add it to a special condition.
Or on a regular residential, would we have?
Where and when? That's my question. Residential is pretty low bar, isn't it? It's kind of punitive. No, it's tough.
Because this is a single-family build, so I don't know that any of us would have looked at this particular project and said that it's that difficult or it's in an unusual area to say there should be a performance bond in place. And in this case, I mean, literally, the house is not built to spec at all. I don't know, unless you had a bond that covered the cost of the house, I don't know how we could have determined that.
I'll tell you now that we could be the plaintiff's greatest asset.
No, we could, yeah. But they won't talk to us.
Well,
I mean, yeah,
shame on them, or we could be their greatest asset.
yep, absolutely. But it's all things to consider, but we need to discuss a lot of this with legal to see whose feet do we hold to the fire when this happens? Because
Well, we have to,
some builders are very reputable, some builders will push the limits, and this was one of their times when, I mean, this house was not built to spec at all.
would we agree that an occupancy permit
Should not have
Should
been.
not have been
And that's what started the discussion about now, how we're on the list of offices that need to check, because no, they should not have gotten in. I can guarantee you, I don't even know, since this house was not, the house itself is built to spec. So as far as the building department goes, it's got the bedrooms, it's got the bathrooms, it's got all the things that are involved. But the elevations, the drainage, the detention pond, all the things that were in our order of condition are totally different. So the building department looked at it and said, okay, here's my window, I'm clear, house looks fine. The rest of it is not.
This is not, that's the builder, but this is not the first time those lots up there have played by the rules and pulled one over on us.
Yep.
Within the rules, they just played, that was about subdivision of lots and whatnot. On the couple of lots ahead of that, they went according to the rules, they got through, and it was,
So it's still a problem. So we will update with the next quarter that we will try and get the owners back in again and see if they comply or if we get the same response from their attorney, and try and have a conversation with them. We will try to, again, we're reaching out to legal to see where is our grasp, our sphere of where we can actually push this with the builder, because it's his responsibility. It really is not the property owner's responsibility, except for in the Wetlands Protection Act, it says deed changes hands, violation goes with the deed. So we're trying to clarify that, and we will work on that.
they ought to come in and practically say nothing, but just hear the conscom's argument. I
We
think.
got to get him in the building.
Yeah, well, I think, and they don't have to respond to anything we say.
If they're watching this, they can see that, you're right, we're on their side. We can be their, we can aid in their civil action against the builder if they will work with us. But we'll see. So in that case, Commissioner Donnelly, do you have any other questions about the committee report?
Wallace?
Where do you think?
I think Kathy had a...
Yeah.
They were sent a letter, right, which they
Yes.
refused acceptance. Do we have protocol for such an incident?
We'll send him another one, and another one, and another one. We continue to send them letters. I mean, I'm not beyond that. If they won't talk to us or won't communicate with us, that's all we can do is send them certified mail. And
Does the Conservation Commission ever use like was it a constable to hand deliver?
we have not.
We've never used that.
We could, I think. If-
He has the authority. He can leave it on site as well, and it just proves that they got it. Not a lot different than a registered mail.
See, they have received some of the registered, they know what the registered mail is, so this is again and again and again asking them to appear, so now they're just not accepting it.
Gotcha.
So they technically know what's in the letter, and we keep asking them to appear or call us or communicate with us or have your lawyer call us, and they know that that's what's in there, so now they're,
What does a registered letter cost?
Oh, I think it's like $6-7.
All right, $30 for a constable, just another pigeon, another way to get it there. Yeah. Well,
it's worth a try, though. I mean, if somebody's knocking on your door and hands you something,
Okay.
but again, it's the same letter that I know that they have. The first two, we got cards back. And then after that, the lawyer said, don't respond, don't show up, don't speak to them, because there is litigation taking place.
Yeah, so a constable doesn't guarantee that they're going to show up. It just guarantees that they got the same letter that we've
Right.
been mailing them.
I wasn't sure how adamant we wanted to be about making
Yeah.
sure they're getting our letters as well.
Well, and it's, again, it's kind of in your face, you know, kind of presents the fact that we're serious, you know, it may be worth a try. See what happens one time. They may, you know, at least, even if they call you, it might be worth it, just to at least open that door of communication again.
Front or rear property are we speaking of?
This is the rear. The same is going to happen with the front. Yeah, so I mean, it's both.
I didn't know if it was the one with the chickens and the rooster. That's all.
What?
Chickens and rooster on site. They
That the one in the back? Yeah, that's the, I mean, it's the one that sets back is the one that is the issue at this point.
I don't know if that's rural residential zoning. It's not farm, I know
It's-
that. It's rural residential.
Right, it's not 5 acres.
Right.
Yeah,
That's neither here nor there. It's just a neighbor's
Yeah.
observation. And the water runoff is no different,
Can we bump
particularly
up Scott Road instead of your violation next?
for, hey,
oh, yes. All right, so, matter of fact, we can do this by total voice.
I brought your attention to 15 yards of fill in the resource area at 691, and then it was said that the owner said that he'd move it. Where do you think he put it? In the resource area out back.
Okay,
I'm not laughing.
no. All right, so if we're ready to accept the committee report, we'll just take it by, well, first of all, I need a motion and a second to approve the second quarter violation subcommittee report.
Motion to approve the second quarter subcommittee report.
And a second?
Second.
Okay, and just by voice vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, the motion is passed. Okay, and next up then, again, a little bit out of order. Which one are we doing?
60 Scott Road.
Oh, okay. Let's go to certificates of compliance, 60 Scott Road, please. Do you have the gentleman online?
Nope.
Okay, so Agent Jamie is going to explain this one for us.
So there's no one present for this because I had a site walk with the applicant. I'm just verifying through my calendar the actual date. I believe it was, bear with me, sometime before July 24th. I went on site with the applicant. We went over what was expected after it was a septic repair. I don't know if you guys remember this. It was a septic repair. It looks great, filled in very nicely. There was some drainage put into each side of the septic, but it comes directly from their gutters, so it did not impact the way the septic system works or where it was placed. And there's really not much to this. It was very straightforward. They got the old septic out, put the new septic in, and then filled it and loomed it, and it looks great. There was no encroachment in the buffer zone or the wetland, the resource area. The flags were still up. They were nicely delineated. And I felt very comfortable with going ahead and having this issued. Does anybody have any questions?
Erosion control measures removed?
Yes.
Very good. Motion to sign off on the enforcement order. Oh, sorry.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Okay, motion to issue a certificate of compliance for 60 Scott Road. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarawat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs, aye. Motion is approved. Okay, do you want to do the riverfront property? You want to do John Fitch Highway next? Can we want to do that one? John Fitch?
Yeah, let's do John Fitch.
All right, next up, violations at John Fitch Highway. The work that is, has anyone not gone by that area or any of the, has everybody seen the parking lot that's being developed and the rehab that they're doing inside the building is not in our jurisdiction, but all of the work that's being done outside the building is within our jurisdiction. And they have not filed a notice of intent. They are well within the 200-foot riverfront area, and no notice of intent filed. Now we have two.
Yeah. If there's anybody else, please let me know so that I can unmute them.
And these gentlemen are speaking on behalf of the developer for John Fitch Highway?
Thomas is the project manager, and I believe Michael is the engineer.
All right, so, Michael, can you hear us?
I can, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay, so if you don't mind, I'd like to start with you. And the first question is, why did you not file a notice of intent with this commission?
I apologize for that. We got sort of caught up in the whole department change at planning. We'd gone through extensive discussions with planning and engineering, received planning board approvals, and it sort of sat for a bit while the contractor sort of mobilized and then started work on the interior. They had received all of their approvals from the city, and they had presumed that they were good to go, considering that all they were doing on the outside was a pavement rehab based on the requirements of the planning board, which included pavement repair and actually removal of pavement to construct landscaped islands. That was the biggest thing that the planning board had, was the fact that that site has historically not been maintained. The new owners have pumped a lot of money into that site, and the planning board additionally wanted improvements to the parking lot. So part of what they did was repair the pavement. Some portions that were mill and overlay. A lot of it was simply seal coating and the removal of pavement to construct landscape islands.
So, Michael, can I ask, were you the engineer when this plan was originally presented to the city and the planning board?
Yes, I was, ma'am.
And are you really not aware that Conservation and the Wetlands Protection Act applied to this project?
I am aware, ma'am. There's not much else I can say as to why it did not, but we are here to try to work through that and get the necessary materials that you need.
Okay. So that being said, then let's go back to that. The developer, the gentleman that our agent spoke with, was required on a recent enforcement order to file a notice of intent. That not having been done in the beginning to work in that area, why has that not been done now?
I am unsure of that, ma'am.
Do we know who can address that? Is not engineering involved in filing the engine? Because plans have to be submitted, all of that has to be done?
Yes, ma'am. Based on our discussions, so myself, Tom Rems, and Agent Jamie been on site on June 24th. That was the first sort of indication that we had received. And when we had met on site, the contractor was instructed to install erosion control measures, which I believe Ms. Jamie had come back out and observed. And those last discussions were get that installed and you can proceed with the rest of the work. There was discussions that Tom Remis had received that then all of a sudden they had received an enforcement order. So we're sort of caught out of context. We weren't in the initial discussions other than having a site walk and under the understanding that they were good to continue with their paving operations.
All right, so where we are right now, all right, is that, Thomas, do you have something? I see your hand up that you would like to add at this time, but to add context to this discussion?
Pretty much, yeah, Michael did pretty much cover all the bases there. We did, so under our planning board hearing for the special use permit and site plan review, we did have this as a phased project for the exterior work over a 2.5-year period. when we did the original fit up of the storage portion, as well as some of the vanilla box suites on the interior, was during the winter months. So we were kind of late on starting the exterior site work. So when we went to go for occupancy for the storage portion, I did go into the office and, try getting a hold of Agent Jamie, and then did meet her on site with Michael, as well as Tim from Hooksett Paving, the contractor, to kind of go over prior to us commencing the paving work, which we did discuss about doing the erosion control, which was installed and inspected. I did receive an email, it was almost a follow-up email. I never either missed or was stuck in my spam, the first email that was sent out on, I believe it was June 28th, which was a couple days after the hearing. And that wasn't until recently. And then after, we did receive a notification in the mail that we did not receive to the office until the 5th of this month, so just 2 days ago.
All right, so let's where we are today, okay, excuse me?
Can I comment?
Oh, sure, go right ahead.
So I just want to clarify that on June 28th, after we met, I sent out an email to Mr. Rems, and I quote, "I went out to the site midweek and saw that the erosion control measures were up. The chair and vice chair did reach out, and there were some concerns as to how this project went through without the Conservation Commission being aware. The entire parcel is in the riverfront area, which makes it jurisdictional to the Wetland Protection Act." On July 16th, my next email states, "Hi, Thomas. I never heard back from you about this matter. I mailed out an enforcement order with a fine per the request of our chair, and it was mailed back to me, so that's why they didn't receive it. I will resend it, but the commissioner requesting that a notice of intent must be filed for this project, and that the applicant be present at our August 7th meeting." So all our information for filing, fees, and requests are available on our website, which is open 24 hours a day. And this was mailed out on the 16th. Meeting materials will do the 24th, which we didn't receive.
Thank you, Agent Jamie. Gentlemen, I have to say, as professionals, you had to know that this had to be done, that the wetland is in the area that you're working, and this I didn't know is not cutting it, okay? So where it stands right now, or at least where I'm at and what I would like to approach to the board, again, while you're here so you can hear it, so there is no more I don't know, we will again issue an enforcement order because you're working in an area without a notice of intent being filed. Enforcement orders have been issued that have been ignored. Instructions have been given to file a notice of intent, which you have not done. So there are, and we can go on with many violations. So at this point, I would also recommend to this board that a cease and desist on that enforcement order be invoked until a notice of intent is filed and we get a chance to see the plans and the work that's going to be done. Do I have any comments from other board members? Or Ms. Jamie?
I just want to say that another enforcement order went out at the end of last week
For not filing
for the not
notice?
filing of the July 24th paperwork.
Correct. Gentlemen, do you have a response?
Michael,
We
do
will
you
have
have
that
the notice of intent already drafted, ready to be issued tonight?
We will make sure, we'll touch base with Agent Jamie tomorrow. We'll make sure that she has the necessary paperwork and the application fees for the notice of intent. She will have those in her office tomorrow.
Because how do you, and I hate to keep on this, that you should have known, you should have known, you should have known. There is no Mass DEP number posted on that job. Every job that you work with has to have a Mass DEP number when you're in a resource area, and in order to get that, you have to file a notice of intent, and it has to be processed through us and Mass DEP. So there is no way that you could not have known that this was jurisdictional to both us and Mass DEP. You've worked on projects, I assume, I'm making assumptions, over and over and over again, and you followed that process, and that did not happen.
Do we have comments from DPW?
From DPW, pertaining to this, I know we have some comments that our DPW commissioner has made. Let me, this is from Nick Erickson, our head of the DPW commissioner. He understands that there was no submission made to CONSCOM. He had asked that some flood interception and flood protection and cleaning and CCTV inspection and existing draining be done. So I don't know if any of his requests have even been addressed. And that install backflow preventers near the outfall to prevent floodwaters in the stream from backing into the drainage system and into the parking lot. And again, Mr. Erickson comments, in my professional opinion, there is no way an engineer that is well-versed in site development would have overlooked the fact that this site is well within a riverfront area, and at a minimum, an RDA should have been submitted, which was not. Any comments, gentlemen?
All of the storm drains to his request have all been cleaned out, jagged, and cambered. We can provide all that information as well.
Okay, so because that will be request that we will be, as part of the order of condition, probably that will be issued at that time. Now, I understand that we have a storm coming this weekend, and do we have concerns about even the erosion control that's in place?
Where are we going to go from there? What if the weathermen happen to be wrong this weekend? What if, as everything else happens here, what if we're 2 weeks out and cease and desist is still in effect? You know, we could have this weekend storm next weekend or the weekend after. So if we're going to shut them down, I think we need, at the very least, on the order of conditions, we need additional measures to protect what we have seen that parking lot become.
There is no order of conditions.
Well, in the enforcement order.
In the enforcement order.
The supposed detention basin that you're working on, is there any, there is no, I was there yesterday, there's no additional erosion control barrier, or in a lot of cases, we would require that with weather pending, the piles of loam that are there be covered so that that runoff cannot enter into the brook. And I would say,
We have seen the water where that loom is now. That could all either be in the parking lot or in the river.
so we should issue the enforcement order with conditions that additional erosion control measures should be in place, which will mean barriers surrounding that partial detention basin, and that any piles of dirt be covered when not being worked on. Commissioner Donnelly?
Yeah, there isn't a hay bale, a wattle, or a silt fence that would function if Baker Brook rises to the extent that we've seen historically. There's not an erosion, a standard erosion control call that would suffice. So you better get your thinking caps on when you give an enforcement order, what your expectation is to control floodwaters at Baker Brook. There had been a gravel berm there for the last three to 5 years, and I know we had a storm. I have pictures of the last storm. I'm not sure that they ever saw it, but I have pictures of it.
I do too.
Okay, so there is not a standard erosion control measure that would suffice.
Okay, so we may not be able to mitigate everything, but
we got to get creative, because if you're going to do it, it ought to be done effectively and not just go through the motions.
And how would you recommend us doing that?
We've seen times when it would take Jersey barriers with some kind of wattle to the Jersey barriers.
Yep.
I've been involved where we've taken people out of that laundromat in a front end loader when I was on the fire department. Had to go, and I think Warren or whoever was there took the people out the water was this steep. And that could happen this weekend. Could happen next weekend.
And not to be overlooked, every owner or butter to that goings-on down there is vulnerable to their oversight. And that's bad enough before, and today it would be equal or worse.
Can I make another comment?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all of this being said, I know that the work being done is not to the standards. We don't know because we don't have any plans. But would issuing a cease and desist make things worse? Could we? My only concern would be Mass DEP. Michael and Thomas, you file the NOI with Mass DEP, and then you have to play their waiting game, not ours, because they issue the file number when they have the time. It's not something we have control over. So we can mitigate stuff now, but if we don't have an NOI number, if we don't have a DEP file number, and if we don't have comments or concerns from them, we can't even close this out.
Right.
So
that is perfect. So we're not the ones stopping it. So if there is a problem, it's not because we made them stop.
Correct.
I agree.
So that's what I'm trying to say. Is there a way to mitigate this between now and when they file through Mass DEP and get a file number?
I would recommend that the paperwork that we're expecting tomorrow in your office, I think they ought to redirect that, and we ought to redirect their energy to mitigation. So redirect anything that they're going to do to controlling the headwaters of Baker Brook. And so any paperwork that they were to submit would be enforcement order satisfactory. They'd satisfy the enforcement order and mitigate the potential for flooding. And it shouldn't address the project. It should address immediate measures taken, and they're temporary. Not immediate temporary measures taken to protect the site that we would have done had we had an original order.
Okay. So we could issue an order, a cease and desist for any additional work to proceed other than flood mitigation. And that flood mitigation would have to be approved by CONSCOM or our agent.
Are we supposed to be getting bad weather Friday?
Well, they're backing off on what it could have been, but I think in the short term, maybe we should consult with Commissioner Erickson.
Engineering, correct.
He's the engineer. We are not engineers. What would he do if he were given how to mitigate this problem?
If we could get...
He has the credentials to make those kind of decisions.
If we could get Ryan instead of Commissioner Erickson out there maybe Thursday. I know today is Wednesday, but I can probably pull some strings.
Yeah.
Would either of you, Michael or Thomas, be able to meet us there tomorrow?
I can meet you there, yeah. What time?
I would say after lunch, 1 o'clock. Is anybody on?
Yeah.
1 o'clock?
Yep.
I'm around. I'll go. We'll go. Yeah, Mike, can you join us? Okay. But at this point, gentlemen, it is still my recommendation to this commission that, first of all, another enforcement order needs to be issued with a cease and desist that anything other than stormwater mitigation should cease until a notice of intent is filed with this commission and Mass DEP. And that will include another fine for not abiding by the original notice that you were given several times and working in an area that is jurisdictional without a notice of intent. So, Commissioners, do I have a motion as such?
That would be their third enforcement order.
Yes.
Because we've already issued 2 with fines.
And third fine. And just as a reminder, gentlemen, that fine now with this new enforcement order will be placed $300 every day until that notice of intent is filed. Do I have a motion to issue a, unless you still have a question?
Well, what happens is they can't remediate currently without an order of conditions. So that's why the without an order of conditions. So tomorrow's request should be for remediation and not of current condition, not project.
Correct.
Exactly, but they can remediate under the enforcement order, because that's what we will tell them to do. This is what you're allowed to do under the enforcement order, but not project-related. They can't continue to tar down at the other end, or that kind of thing.
Their application, their request, they're giving it to us. I don't believe that we're telling them what to do. They should be coming up with a solution to our ear. They should be coming up with a solution to the immediate threat that Baker Brook proposes, and we'll accept or reject it. But we're not telling them. They should be telling us.
Right, because it's always the applicant's responsibility to meet the requirements of the wetlands ordinance or the wetland.
And we'll
Protection
react
Act.
to that.
With engineering's input.
Yeah, we'll be there at 1 o'clock and we'll have the plan, we were told.
Okay, gentlemen, is that you will be prepared tomorrow at 1 o'clock to present ideas of what you can provide for stormwater mitigation in addition to the straw wattles that are already there?
Yes.
Okay. But I still have, waiting for a motion on the floor to issue another enforcement order with a cease and desist and conditions for stormwater mitigation. And requirement to file a notice of intent.
Motion
again.
made.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, let me call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. So gentlemen, we will meet you on site tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Agent Jamie, that's okay?
I'm sending out the calendar invite as we speak.
Okay. And anyone else that's available and wishes to attend?
Everybody is invited. You can just deny the calendar invite if you can't make it.
So gentlemen, we are not particularly happy to have contentious hearings or discussions. This is not the way that we operate. And we don't expect the people that want to, the project itself, in the end, is going to be a benefit to this community. But the process has to be followed. And this was not done in this case. And I have to think that if you didn't follow a building department process or a planning department process or a zoning department process, it would be the same thing. But so just if anybody thought that they didn't have to follow a Conservation Commission process, you are strongly in error. And we will be sure now that we will be on top of this project going forward. Any additional comment before we close? Hearing none, Michael and Thomas, thank you then for appearing tonight, and we will see you on site tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
That was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay. Riverfront Park vegetation clearing.
That's me. Chief of Staff. Can everybody hear me?
Yep.
Our Executive Director, Liz Murphy, had requested that we add this to the agenda. She is working on the Riverfront stage, and I think part of their planning would be to reduce the overgrowth at Riverfront Park. Last year, she received a quote that was given to everybody here, and she would like help with funding from the Conservation Commission. Basically, this is a trained professional who can remove the shrubbery that's there, including knotweed, and that would be the approximate cost. It is a year-old quote, but I am thinking that if we can vary the funding just a little bit, we can help them out. According to our unofficial finance report, please bear with me. I'm just trying to get numbers. According to the closeout of fiscal year '24, the CONSCOM had a total of $25,907 in its account.
So we're looking at probably with modified numbers for this year, somewhere around $5,000 for
Correct.
the whole. And how much contribution?
There wasn't an amount. I don't know if they're going to be getting contribution from anybody else, so I think it would be appreciated if we can fund the $5,000. Knowing that that's probably not the actual cost, and we might get some kickback.
Yeah, either from other sources or
Correct.
other funding or other community development money that might be available.
Yes.
Comments from any commissioners? Commissioner Donnelly?
Just,
No comment?
oh, I have I just, I didn't want to jump on it. So a little bit of history. Last time it was done, it was volunteers. Last time it was done, it was a combination of city folk and prisoners. Cleaning up that section, I think, is important. Spraying knotweed once is just a temporary thing. I guess you could do it. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is there. They can go ahead and spray it, and that river's just going to carry more down, and it'll look good for a while. Getting the heavy vegetation at the big number out, they climbed down in, cut it, and it was a lot worse than it is now. It was many years of growth, and they chained it and hauled it up with a backhoe on top. So I knew what it took in the past, and I know it'll take it right now. And it's got to be ongoing. I don't think that it should be a one-shot deal. And I presented something to you, smaller change, but it's ongoing. It's a program, and I think a program ought to be established. And I don't think it's on the shoulders of the CONSCOM for the Riverfront Park. That was the brainchild of a mayor and a planning board, planning department. And the planning department has a lot of boards under their wing, under their jurisdiction. So it's not just a Conservation Commission burden.
I totally agree with that, but I think I would add, for the initial phase, I think it would be good if CONSCOM stepped up and supplied the funds for that initial phase. So we set the stage for the other departments that could help participate or provide some funding or however that is, that the next, because you're right, this is not a one-year project, this is going to be an ongoing project, but I think it would be beneficial to CONSCOM to step up and take the first lead and fund the first year.
Go back in. It takes a commitment over time and not a one-year commitment. So if we make this commitment, we could be throwing money away if it's not followed up in subsequent years. And I made the argument about the research that I did in taking care of 1,000 square feet and 2,000 square feet, that we cut our lawn weekly. We fertilize 4 times a year. We rake the leaves in the fall. We clean up in the spring. These are the things we do as homeowners. We can all understand that. And maybe we need to address knotweed the same in September treat it. In September, treat it. In September, treat it. And now we have it under control, just like we have our lawn under control, and our shrubs under control, our flowers, snow, Just have to put that in the budget. And that's what I asked to do tonight, is to put a 3-year commitment in the budget, in our budget, on a related matter, not weed, just not in this location. We see one price from Vegetation Control Service. I saw that name earlier. I didn't go to them, but I went with 2 locals, and they're local enough, but I went with 2 locals. We have nothing to compare this with. There's no bidding process, and I think that there ought to be request for proposal and
So can we express to Ms. Murphy to find out, is there a plan beyond where this, what is presented here? Because they're right, we all know if you just treat knotweed one time, it's just going to come back. So we'd like to help by knowing that there is going to be a plan going forward, which we may decide to help participate in that also, especially if we start, with the first year. And it probably would be beneficial to the city. Now, I don't know, I know there's contracts and, preferred vendors and those kind of things that the city has to deal with, but if we could get even one more bid to see if the price is somewhat legitimate in the same ballpark.
Well, price and project scope, is there, Commissioner Donnelly had said every September. There could be another company that suggests treating every March and September. So there could be another organization or environmental scientist who has a more efficient plan than just chopping every September or treating every September. Because I agree, I think this is an issue where we're going to clear it, it's going to come down the river, and without a actual plan for 3 or 4 years, we're just stuck with it.
August and September is the prescribed method of getting Japanese. They know it, and they'll do it to be the most effective. And that tonight is important because it's right in front of us. The tail end of August, early September, after flowering, they know that, and they'll do it at the right time. It'll be part of the contract. And again, a related matter I brought tonight. Part of the plan is to do it. The reason it's coming in tonight is it's right on us now. We have to get it done at the end of August and the beginning of September. But ongoing is what I'm looking for. Scope of the work, there it is. And then I would ask, who manages Riverfront Park? Harlan,
asking me?
I'll run that to you. Yeah, by you. Thanks.
Parks and Recs.
Okay, so there's another player in the game.
Correct. So my suggestion to the commission would be, could we allocate funds under the presumption that, one, we will get a plan established, so it could be a flat rate every year where CONSCOM donates $500 to the remediation of knotweed in whatever area is decided, as long as there's a plan in place and the maintenance is in place as well. It doesn't have to be specific to this quote. It could be going forward from August 7th, 2024 to forever on. If CONSCOM has the funding in their account, we are, like we do with the rain barrels, we are willing to donate half whatever the cost is. Like that, huh?
No, I like your answer until you came up with the rain barrels. But I do like your answer. Continuity and a lesser amount. There's more players in this game than CONSCOM, and the major player, it seems to me, would be Parks. And I guess I question now whether planning is jumping ahead of Parks, or is this a Park proposal? And if it's not a Park proposal, are they working together? Because we're stepping into somebody else's domain as a Conservation Commission, into the Parks Department's management of the park. And we don't want them stepping on our domain.
I think it's a community development project. There is a proposal for a stage at Riverfront Park. I don't know if you guys have seen those emails. And I think this might go in conjunction with that.
Now, is there a time, because now we're at our August meeting.
That's why I'm saying.
And September is when this needs to be done.
If you guys can agree on a price, like an amount.
I like $500 a year for 3 years.
Yeah.
For 3 years, conservation commitment, and perhaps two bids. Update this one, and perhaps another local. I went to Lunenburg because they're there. If there's a Fitchburg applicator, that'd be good too.
Can we say $500?
I don't think 500's enough.
Could we give like
We're
a couple
only-
grand this year at least?
Or 2,500,
Yeah.
if this is what
Yeah,
this bid
2,500.
I
is.
vote 2,500.
We don't have to carry the whole burden.
No, but
We're
that's
not.
half. That's half.
Planning, recreation, conscom, who else? Keep coming.
That's you
Well,
assuming that
let's
they
say
have
that's what we're
funding.
willing to do right now, though.
Right,
Like, this is what we're willing to help out. Let's get this moving
right. And then
right
put the
now.
plan together and go forward.
Moving forward, we're willing to commit 500, and then, but to help move this forward, right now.
Let's
Like,
do,
we got to start somewhere, right?
Shoot the whole thing 1 year as long as they have a contract for years 2 and 3, and we pay nothing years 2 and 3. We just put the money up front now because we have a kitty.
well,
That's fine with me
that's
too.
an option.
I like that.
Pay for the first year. And we can always go back and look at it again later, too. All right, so pay for the first year. Yep, Kathy?
Could we alleviate stepping on toes by taking Conscom's money and enriching DPW's coffers, and they in turn do the work, or some of it?
No, I don't think this work is done by DPW.
No,
Yeah.
you have to be
You have to be a
Yeah, it's an
licensed.
It has to be
outside
a licensed
contract.
applicant, application specialist. There's a licensing process for that. So I think
think I have
that
one.
if we do,
I have one of those.
I think what Brad said sounded the best. If we do, even if it's 1,500 now or 2,000 now, and then going forward,
Reducing it based on
reducing the fee.
I don't know. I like the proposal of let's step up the first year.
that's what I mean.
I think so. It's
as long as there's an
25,000.
actual plan
As long as there's a
proposed.
plan.
Right.
An assurance of a plan, but an assurance that we get people to step up and fill.
Well, that's next. Don't come back to us next year. We're gonna step up to this first year, and then if you want, this should be a plan to go forward, because it's gonna be a 3-year cycle anyway.
Correct.
But then you're gonna have to find funding for those other 3
Well,
years.
I feel like if they're reaching out to us, it's because Parks and Recs and other people who have oversight over these areas don't have the funding.
But then they can
So
put it in their budget next
You
year.
know what I mean?
They
Like-
need to
But they
start
need to-
planning.
this is a good chance for them to start planning.
Right, they can put it in their budget for next year.
We've been invited on August 22nd or 21st to Cogsall Park for something going on with recreation.
That's not Parks and Recs, that's the Fitchburg Public Schools.
I know this, if I were to go to private companies right now, they would give if asked. This I know from a history of fundraising and putting my hand out. So I know that they would. So you have to ask, and they're asking, and I just don't want to roll over, but I want to contribute. I do want to contribute because people feel good about giving. I know this from my history of fundraising. And we'll feel good about contributing to this, and time is of the essence. All that's good. But it's easy to come to us because we're easy. The hard part is going to do some legwork, turn over some stones, and find out, get the money that isn't so easy.
All right, so we're going to give them, if we
agree to
pay for
disagree.
this year's remediation plan, we're going to give them a year now to go out to it. And you're going to have the conversation with Liz that said, okay,
Correct.
we're going to fund this year, but now you got to put a plan in place and you better start searching for money for next year, because we're going to start this effort, but we're not going to fund it next year. You got to get Parks, or you got to get somebody else to put money in.
And if I don't mean to monopolize, however, I'm on record as saying I will not approve another park proposal without a plan in place. And by that I mean is that there is no, to my knowledge, because it hasn't come before, if the Parks Department wants to do something, I want to see a plan in place of how they manage existing parks. Because when they go to create another one, or they go to look for us for either money or our approval, our Conservation Commission approval, we'll use Park Hill Park as an example. Without a comprehensive park plan, management plan in place for a city of 40,000 people, with how many parks and acres and acres and acres of parkland, we don't have a comprehensive plan, and I don't think that we do, because I haven't seen it, and I asked for it 10 years ago. And I'm on record as saying, if they come and they're asking for something, they're not no. If Parks comes and they want something, I can't say yay without that comprehensive plan. Just can't. And so this is not them asking, but if they were, bear in mind, that's where I stand, and I'm for good reason. We have such a resource, and it's mismanaged. Or excuse me, it's not management is, it rains, they don't do this.
Can I get a number?
Yeah.
So let's put it on the floor. I would agree with the $5,000 to get this project started this year, and then let's address it again with Liz and that to make sure that they understand the criteria that we would like to see moving forward.
I would like to be able to bid on that, because I could bid on it and I could subcontract it for a lot less than that.
We're going to allocate these funds,
Right,
right?
we're not
We're
gonna-
not giving them, we're going to allocate them, so we're going to put them aside.
Right.
And they're going to get a plan in place, and then we're going to release whatever.
Because they could go out, I mean, based on our recommendation that Herlin's going to take back to Liz, and she gets some other quotes, maybe it's 4,000, maybe it's 3,500, maybe it's
the 500.
Maybe it's, yeah, I don't know. And that, but we will allocate up to $5,000 for this initial remediation.
Well, I know what it would be. I could give you a quote on that.
Herlin, when you're speaking with Liz, is it possible to see if there's a long-term plan of, like, what do they actually want to use that space for?
They're building a stage at Riverfront.
At that, where the Japanese knotweed is growing right now, that's
No,
where the
no,
stage is.
no.
So,
It's just like the Riverfront area.
yeah. So,
and
but
the
are they
flood wall.
ever planning on native plants? Are they planning on restoning? Are they planning on forever treatment?
No, so to be honest, digression, we have met, Joyce and I have gone out there, when did we go out?
A couple months ago.
Yeah, we went out and with the Army
Corps of Engineers.
Army Corps of Engineers.
Part of the other problem with all of this that ties into this whole factor is in order to be compliant with the Army Corps of Engineers and what they do for that channel is we have to remediate all of that growth along the channel. And we never do.
They want it out.
Yeah. And
Well, I guess my question is, how do we guarantee long-term that that is clear?
I think with the approach that Mike said, the continuation of application and removal of the knotweed, it's not a one-time thing where you pull it and that's it. Obviously, there's some sort of maintenance plan.
But is the Army of Engineer or Corps of Engineers going to be satisfied with the growth of it every year until September?
they're pretty happy with where we are now
Wow.
because
After Earth
we
Day.
just had a cleanup on Riverfront Park or some, and even on the other side. And they were very pleased with where that is, but there are still other areas that need to be addressed. But that area, we're well on our way to compliance because of the work that has been done at Riverfront Park. Not there yet, but that is probably the closest area in the River Channel that we are to complying with Corps of Engineering.
In 1977, the Army Corps of Engineers came in and they put the granite in the river, and they put up a concrete wall that isn't there anymore, which is Riverfront Park's granite steps. And they put in the riprap and they rebuilt the bridge, and then they put in that retaining wall by independent cleaners. And then they said, Fitchburg, now it's yours. You take care of it. And in the last 30 to 40 to 50 to 60 years, we haven't done our part to ensure that that river it runs the way they had designed it to run. I've often questioned, if we have a major flood and we haven't done our part to make sure that that river runs freely, are we insured?
No.
The feds may not step up because we haven't protected their investment.
Right. They'll tell you that we are not covered right now.
So now here we are one step at Riverfront Park, and we're going to shell out X amount of money. Every single year, the Army Corps of Engineers comes and does a study, and they say, you should take care of that, you should take care of that, and you should take care of that. And I've been on several of those in years past. And I can't remember, well, once, the DPW, who's responsible for it, come into the conscom and say, we'd like to put a machine down there and move some stuff, or we'd like to put some men down there and move some stuff, which means every year, the Army Corps of Engineers tells you what you should do, and we say, yeah, that's nice, we'll see you next year. And we haven't done it. This is so minor as far as that. It's a first step, and we're ponying up the money, all well and good, but we got bigger.
Right, issues.
Bigger,
as far as
we have to satisfy Army Corps of Engineers in a lot bigger manner than this. It's not our responsibility.
So are we getting kind of off where, let's kind of pull this back to talking about this particular...
Up to $5,000. Oh, you guys, you got a lot of money. It's easy to spend other people's money.
It's not other people's money, it's our money. But let's...
Oh, well, my money, I wouldn't be spending it, all right?
All right. Are we prepared to put a motion on the table? Now, if I would support the 5,000. If anybody thinks that, do we want to have discussion about less amounts or... But again, we're setting aside that money that can be used. That doesn't mean that that's what we're going to spend. No more than 5,000 is what we would contribute to this effort.
And does that set aside account for this year, next year, and so forth if we decide?
Well, this is going to be it. If we spend $5,000, we're not, next year, we're not, we're going to step up and help the first implementation of this. Year 2 into year 3, you got to look elsewhere for that money.
Can we require 2 bids, not 1, and can we require a 3-year program? Can we require that as a part of it? Because we're throwing our money away if it's just a 1-year deal.
Right, okay. So we can set aside, we will approve to set aside $5,000 for the knotweed removal at Riverfront Park. In order to do that, we request a couple more bids so that we can see that the money is being spent appropriately and that this is not a one-time thing, that there's going to be a 3-year plan put in place. Does that make sense to everybody? All set? Okay. Can I have a motion in a second?
I'm not making a motion.
Mike's not touching that one. Okay. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Let's call the roll. Get my paper here. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
Commissioner Jacobs? Aye. And you're all set with the 3 points to that, Sean Michael?
Just a jump off of that topic. I think the last time we met, did Commissioner Donnelly mention that he was looking at Riverfront or River Street and knotweed removal as well? Is that something that's being shelved for now, or?
No.
Are you still researching that?
It's here. It's in front of you. It's in front of... Oh, I'm sorry, gentlemen.
Oh, that's what's here.
I gave one to these, our leaders. I gave a copy to them. I have a copy. They'll share it with you. It's pretty innocent.
And this was for which area?
Well, to be determined.
Okay.
And I have 2 areas or 3 in mind, and we just, I guess the people would say, hey, I can see that. So what I did, I'll give this one to you. And they're the same, but they're from different contractors.
Okay.
They're the same, but from different contractors.
So we got Commissioner Donnelly then got a quote per square foot, and we picked the location.
Yeah. So 1,000 square feet, 20 by 50. It's a patch, a controllable patch. And it's about a 3 to 4 gallon can of spray. That's what they factor in. I get it. I get this stuff here. And they'd go in and they'd spray it, and they do it over 3 years. And it would cost us $250 to do that controlled area. And we do it 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years. And the 3rd year, we make a decision of, did it work, did it not work?
The test. Okay.
And we can read. I've read, plenty of people have done this or whatever, and we could read about their success or lack of success, but rarely do they come up with a final conclusion. I figured if we did it on a small scale, on a lot smaller number, then we'd be able to talk more intelligently about dealing with that scourge, dealing with the scourge. And I know that there's a controllable 1,000 square feet at a cemetery. And I know I have permission from the superintendent to, yeah, you can go ahead and do that. I know, as I shared last time, before I said I was going to do this, that there's bittersweet and knotweed at Greens Pond. And it's a controllable area in the frontage there that we could keep our eye on and manage. If we're going to pay for it, we might as well know what we're getting for our money. And then a third area, there's a lot, actually. They've introduced it, and I'll take that up once we deal with it, at the, where they're the cemetery, it's cemetery land. They're dumping stuff there, and that's how knotweed goes to disturbed soil, and there's knotweed where it didn't exist 5 years ago, and they're doing a lot of work over there, so I suspect they.
That's the corner at Rollstone Road and
That's
and
at
Electric
Sandbrook.
Avenue.
That's an established riverfront.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think you do bittersweet more in June and July, and knotweed is more like coming up now in September.
Okay?
I think, I'm not 100%
That's
sure.
all. Now,
But it's two different timings.
I asked you all, can you think of a little spot? I'd rather do it on Conscom land than I would on somebody else's, but it's about learning. It's about learning. And Mike, to your point about the riverfront, frankly, I would back off my proposal and I'd take on riverfront. But I knew you said it was coming up anyway. I'd take that on as our project site, riverfront, because I think that has a lot of impact when everybody can see it. But Mike, that's almost a that's almost losing along the river. Because it's just going to recede. It's just going to float. That's why it's all along the river. It just keeps floating along the river and doing that. But pick another spot. Or discount mine.
But the cemetery spot, too, as a test patch, one, it's accessible. We know where it is. It's easy to get to it, and it's a controlled area. So I think that area would be acceptable as a test area.
Right.
So it's $300 that's about 1,000 square feet there.
It's 1,000, and if it's more,
but it's $300. It's $300 per square foot.
It costs us $750 over 3 years, or $1,500 over 3 years, and then we'd have some information out of it.
Do you have a preferred contractor that you felt better working with? Because there's Lakeview and there's Gatsby Ground.
Okay, so they're both Lunenburg interests. Gatsby Grounds, they do my yard, so I have a contact with them. And Lakeview did work for the Conservation Commission on Harvard Street and Fifth Street Bridge, and they went down the hill and moved a homeless encampment at the base of that housing project for the Conscom, and I think everybody here was happy with what they did. They put a machine down a 100-foot cliff, and then they brought that machine. They let the machine down. He did his work, and then they dragged it up that cliff, and they cut a few trees on the way down, and then they put compost or leaves, or they stabilized the bank in and moved out. And this Conservation Commission was happy with the result that they got from Lakeview. So we have a history with Lakeview, and I have a history with Gatsby, so I went to those two. And I know Athol. I didn't go to them. They could do it, but I went with two, not three. I didn't want to waste a lot of people's time, and they're all going to say the same thing.
Right, it's
3 or 4 gallon sprayer.
Yeah, it's $200 to $300 per 1,000 square feet between the different vendors. So I think I've worked with Lakeview before. I know them. They do pretty good work. I don't know Gatsby, but I think we're ready, because now's the time to be doing this. Again, this is the season. If we're going to do this, now's the time that we ought to approve it. And this is cheap money to try and see what we're going to garner, and does this 3-year program work? So I would authorize these funds, and if we all agree Lakeview does a good job, then let's go with Lakeview. And they've done work for Conscom before, so, and will you spearhead this project, Mike, with them? And
you don't have to do another thing other than give me a blessing and allocate the money.
And we'll do the cemetery up at the cemetery property again, because that's accessible. We can see it. It can be monitored easily. And as our kind of test pit, let's call it, that I think we could go forward with that.
There's 3 places. I'm only going to look at 2, and that's why I asked for a double a price there of 1,000 and 2,000 square feet. History. Froggy Brook, they filled it in, and they filled it in with material, and that loose material had knotweed and/or.
Yep.
Our request to the DPW 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 years ago, I don't know who was here, would you remove the fill that you put in there? And they did a big job of removing a lot of fill, and a lot of that fill was knotweed. They probably put it down on Airport Road. But whatever they didn't get remains, and so it's controlled. But I guess to the point, they cooperated with us when we asked them to take it out last time, and that's important. That they may have filled it, but they took it out when we asked them to.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
All right, so you will pick the area at that Rollstone and Electric Ave site, if that's acceptable to everyone. We'll go with Lakeview because there it's either $250 for 1,000 square feet or $500 for 2,000 square feet. Set up the three-year monitoring program, so we'll do that ongoing every 3 years. Do I have a motion and a second? To do the test program for?
Motion to do the test program with the knotweed, and Commissioner Donnelly's chosen.
Okay, second?
Second.
Okay, let's call the roll. Commissioner Christian?
Aye.
Commissioner Donnelly?
Aye.
Commissioner Pelletier?
Aye.
Commissioner Tantanarowat?
Aye.
Commissioner Wallace?
Aye.
And Commissioner Jacobs, aye.
That's what I have in my records.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And for those, that's everything on the, minutes. We have minutes that were provided, and of the 3 that are here, I only had a question or a revision on the June minutes. In the call to order section, it is stated that Ms. Satterfield read an introduction, but Tracy was not at that meeting. So I believe that was me. It doesn't matter. But the introduction was read, but just take that out since Tracy was not at the June meeting. And the other 2, I did not find any corrections. I don't know if anybody else has any comment on the May 1st and the April 19th minutes being presented. If there are no other corrections, can I have a motion to approve those 3 with the correction of the June 5th, 1 line?
Motion made.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Let's do it by voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? None. So that is approved. And Helene, you don't have anything else, do you, I think?
Oh,
So-
I do.
Okay, yeah?
Starting September 1st, there are some accommodations that are going to happen with the conservation agent, so I will be going down to 30 hours from the 35, 5 less hours a week.
Okay.
Mike Donnelly, do you have any questions?
Well, thank you for asking. Could you give any rationale?
Just personal.
Very good.
Yes, it's quite acceptable. And Miss Jamie will still be available, send her an email or
Yeah.
whatever, she'll still be available for that.
Just an hour less a day.
Extra hour,
I was gonna say, is it 1 hour less each day, or is it going to be a day?
Just an hour less each day.
yeah.
Is it in the morning or the afternoon?
Okay, let's move on. If there being no other new business, can I have a motion to adjourn? And a second?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Okay,
I could go on all night here.
No,
I'm not going to
please.
make that motion.
all right. By voice vote, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, none. So this concludes our August 7th, 2024 meeting at 7:50 PM, and we are adjourned until September 4th, 2024. Thank you, everyone.
Will not be here in September.